Mary's House is a fabulous place for young women who age out of the foster care system, and what that means really is the government says goodbye, good luck. And at 18, you and I know we're really not ready to be on our own in every way. We have parents to fall back on. These young women don't, but they have Mary's House. And Mary's House provides a place for them not only to live, but support and supervision as they make the transition to adulthood. And the results are excellent. These women have jobs, they go to school, and many of them come to Mary's House after they've already made mistakes being on their own. About a third of foster care children who are young women who go out at 18 end up homeless because they don't have the skills. Mary's House provides that, and it's a warm, nurturing environment for them. It makes them self-sufficient, which is what we would like to see of every young adult.
I'm Dante. Coming out of the system, when I was 18 years old, there was only a few different places and programs and stuff to go to. I'm 22 now, and I hop from place to place, and I really needed a place to go. And I was couch surfing. I went back and forth for my mother's, and I ended up getting into a good program, and they kicked me out, and I was in a shelter, and my friend referred me to Mary's House. And I'd heard about it in the past too, but this time I really needed it. I needed a place to live and a stable environment to get on my feet. And they accepted me in, and they helped me out, and I'm going to school now, and they've helped me to get a job and to be stable. And so that's what Mary's House has done for me. It's great.
We also know that the greatest need for this type of facility, which the government calls transitional housing, is in the North County area. So we are grateful, but more importantly, the young women are extremely grateful to the Escondido Charitable Foundation for being willing to give us a grant for general operating expenses. That's the hardest thing to raise money for. It's the hardest thing to find. To operate Mary's House, to pay for all the maintenance on Mary's House, the floor has to be redone. Those are the kinds of things it's very difficult to do, but it makes a huge difference to the young women who are living there. Without a facility, without operating expenses, then there is no place for these young women. So we really thank you.
The grant from the Escondido Charitable Foundation will support youth enrichment activities for at-risk youth living at Community Housing Works, Eucalyptus View, and Orange Place housing complexes, as well as youth living in the South Escondido neighborhood. Community Housing Works will offer after-school homework help 4 days per week at Eucalyptus View, which will also support increased academic achievement amongst regularly attending youth. This grant will also help support the youth programs at Orange Place, Eucalyptus View, and the South Escondido neighborhood, which will contribute to neighborhood stabilization and an increase in civic engagement of the youth participants. A minimum of 12 junior high school aged youth will participate in the Youth Leadership Institute, attend 2 leadership conferences, and will create 1 community-based project. The Youth Enrichment Program will also offer a financial fitness program, helping up to 20 youth have a better understanding of how personal finances work. The Youth Enrichment Program will help local at-risk youth develop life skills through after-school tutoring, leadership development, and financial education programs. 85% of youth regularly attending the after-school homework club will have a 2.0 or better grade point average.
January 21st, 1995, 14-year-old Tony Hicks shot and killed 20-year-old Tariq Kamisa, a college student who was delivering pizzas in San Diego, California. Tony wanted acceptance into a gang. They phoned in an order for pizza to a false address. Then they waited for Tariq to deliver the pizza. When he arrived, they demanded that he give up the pizza. Tarek refused. He began to walk away. At the instruction of another member of the gang, Tony pulled the trigger and murdered Tarek.
So I founded the TKF and I reached out in forgiveness to Tony's grandfather, Ples Felix, and we work together. And we go to schools, and we have programs to keep kids away from gangs, guns, violence, alcohol, and drugs. And sometimes it scars the soul forever.
We have a child here that's been shot, and was shot many times, and I watched him, and I watched his face, and I saw some of our children that are hardened, and I watched their faces change, and I could tell they were thinking about the message, and I could tell that there's going to be a change in their lives.
The mentoring program is where we as mentors get to be with kids and be their friends, and I think that's like the most important part of it, is because we allow them to have like an outlet like no other that they've had in their life.
One of the kids at the school I was at when I first started mentoring him, he was in detention every single day, and his teachers told me that he wasn't gonna make it to the next grade, and little by little the teacher was like, hey, he's doing a little bit better, and instead of 5 days a week in detention, he came down to 2 days a week in detention, and by the end of the year he wasn't in detention no more, and he ended up moving on to the next grade with decent grades. And the teachers and his parents came up to me and were happy and thanked me.
It's awesome because the mentors are like the best people ever. And we appreciate all of what they've done all this year, and they're awesome, and we care about that, and we love them.
We do the impossible.
The purpose of perceiving excellence through music is to teach the skills of self-discipline, focus, and mastery to students, particularly those who seem academically challenged or at risk. Using music as the vehicle that promotes the desire to learn, students work with others and create a shared product of excellence. Funding from the Escondido Charitable Foundation will provide 3 music educational curriculum programs offered as after-school or weekend activities. An elementary band program with about 30 students will bring jazz band instrumentation and performance that will use the curriculum accents on achievement. A teen swing band will form to recreate the big band sound. The teen swing band will consist of 16 students at a minimum. Thirdly, a performance-based program for guitar, bass, piano, and drums called Creative Connections in Music. Written and designed by the founders of Ubiquitous Music, Creative Connections in Music has a successful history with Ubiquitous and meets with 5 to 8 students at a time in an ensemble setting. Ubiquitous will bring these music education curriculums to students of Escondido, many of whom have never played before. The students' desire to learn is their fuel, the music is the brush, and the unique curriculums and teaching artists are the palette. The picture painted is one of self-discipline, self-motivation, and self-esteem. These are the very tools of one's character that will be brought to students that will help make them become more productive members of their school and community. Currently under construction, the site of the Escondido Adult School will be transformed into a fully functional facility behind the Escondido Union High School District offices, becoming the campus for the 9th grade intervention program, or NIPIT. This behavior-focused program targets high-risk youth for individualized, educational, emotional, and social development in a small, specialized learning environment. NIPIT integrates knowledge with behavior for 9th grade at-risk students, providing academic as well as social and emotional support necessary to prepare these students for success in high school and in the community. These students will develop skills in the areas of responsibility, organization, communication, self-respect, conflict resolution, teamwork, and civility. Students will spend their 9th grade year in a separate program with 2 specialized teachers and increased counseling support. The grant from the Escondido Charitable Foundation will be used for purchasing unique curriculum and technology equipment to support the most at-risk students transitioning into high school. The goal of the Palomar Family YMCA Middle School Leadership Program is to inspire teenagers to start thinking about their futures and equip them with skills to become independent, successful adults that give back to their community. Through the grant from the Escondido Charitable Foundation, 25 youth will be given the opportunity to participate in Model United Nations, a 4-month program in which middle school-aged delegates role-play current events as ambassadors to the United Nations. Participants will join a delegation hosted by the Palomar Family YMCA and select a country they wish to represent and will research their country's position on a variety of international issues and create resolutions to be debated in one of the sessions of the Model United Nations. In the Middle School Leadership Program, 30 children will take 3 trips to visit universities throughout Southern California, including CSU San Marcos, UCLA, and San Diego State University. Also through this grant, the Palomar Family YMCA will host a middle school leadership conference based on the successful model of their teen leadership conference. This conference will provide leadership workshops for 40 middle school students combined with typical camp activities such as rock climbing and archery at the YMCA Camp Marston. Not only will students develop skills necessary for life, but will encourage civic engagement, where students see firsthand that they can make a difference.